podcast. Hit that like, comment below. Subscribe if you got the time, man. We appreciate that love. We appreciate that love. And yes, we are finally back. We took some time off, about a month. About a month off, and we're getting right back to it. There was a good little time off, and as you can already tell, yes, we're back to normal programming. I'm back on the road, traveling, everything. So what better way to come back strong than starting it off with the likes of Teofimo Lopez taking on Shakur Stevenson to defend his belt. So that's what we're going to get into. This is our final thoughts and predictions before this fight goes down. We obviously have seen the weigh-ins. We've seen how everything has been going down throughout fight week. So even though we haven't been doing our lives and we haven't been doing our uploads of videos, we've definitely been tuned into boxing. We've been paying attention to everything. So with our upcoming videos that will drop, we'll cover like a recap of everything we didn't cover. But then more importantly, we're back live. We're back, and we're back strong, man. And with that said, tonight, like we already mentioned, we're going to get straight into it. Let's go ahead and get this thing going. Oh, so the schedule for tonight, right? So we, first and foremost, shout out to Josh Kelly. Shout out to Josh Kelly. Who knew he was going to beat the likes of Murtazaev? Good fight. Watched that all the way through. Shout out to the Zone. Good production. Good free fight at that. Shout out to the new champion over there in the IBF. Mr. Josh Kelly got his thing in with an upset, in this case, against the likes of Murtazaev. And again, watching that fight all the way through, it went from start to finish. You know, it went all 12 rounds. We saw 2 knockdowns, 1 apiece by each fighter. And good scrap, man. Good scrap. Josh showed that he still has a gas tank. He showed that he is still a top-tier fighter in his division. And obviously now the champion, right? So salute to that man, salute to that warrior. I thought the fight was a little bit more in the favor of Josh Kelly as far as how I would have scored that fight, even though it ended up being a majority decision in his favor. The right man did get the nod, but in my opinion, it was a little bit too close for comfort, or at least too close on those cards. Yes, you know, the champ, former champ now, was pressing the action throughout that fight, and Josh might have had a little bit too much movement, especially on the back half after he got caught in round number 9. But with that said, man, I still thought he at least pulled it out by 2 rounds. So it is what it is. But shout out to Josh Kelly, man, true champion, true warrior. Now, with that said, hey, what's going on, Adam? What's going on, Mary? Hey, and with that said, let's get into it, right? We got Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson tonight. Baby's thinking, what's going on? Serenity, how you doing? How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. It's our quick thoughts and predictions tonight, right? So we've got Teofimo Lopez, man, Mr. Takeover himself, taking on Shakur Stevenson. Now, I haven't been too much of a fan of these dang pay-per-views, guys, but I mean, it is what it is. This one's actually a decent pay-per-view. Shout out to the Zone, Ring Magazine for getting this one out there. Hey, what's going on, Tommy? What's going on? What's going on? Hit that like, comment below, subscribe if you got the time, man. It's our final thoughts, predictions. We are going to tell you exactly how we bet this fight coming up between Teofimo Lopez. Actually, the whole undercard here. We're about to go through them real quick, real fast, lay it out, give you why we're thinking the way we're thinking. You can take with it, you know, take it however you want to. So we'll see how it's going. So here it is. Let's go to the first one, right? Austin Emma Williams, man, I feel sorry for that brother. He was supposed to be getting it on with Carlos Adames, right? Adames pulled out, sick. God, man, really nothing you can do. And this is the second time this happened to my brother Emma Williams. But hey, at least the brother's still there. He's still keeping his head on straight. He still looks focused, even though he's getting a last-minute replacement tonight against Mr. Wendy Toussaint, who was literally just driving a bus yesterday and got blessed and getting him $100 grand, I believe is what Eddie Hearn said they're giving him tonight. So $100 grand to come and fight, man. I would have took that kind of fight my damn self. I could use $100 grand, but hey, shout out to Wendy. But man, I feel bad for Austin Emma Williams, man. That brother, that he deserved his championship fight, his shot. It just is what it is, man. And things happen. So, anyways, Austin Emma Williams, we got that one clear. Favorite Austin Emma Williams. No need to bet anything else on it. Just put him clear as a heavy favorite. Got it. It's good. Now here's the next. Here's the real fight that's coming up after that. Jarrell Big Baby Miller, right back in action, taking on the likes of Kingsley Abe. This is a good fight. 317 pounds in the favorite of Mr. Jarrell Miller. He's always weighed over 300 pounds in most of his fights. And I mean, he looked every part of it. I personally think he should weigh around the 290s to 300s. He looked the best to me during those time frames in shape, but for whatever reason, he feels good at 317. So we'll see how it goes. The brother usually has a gas tank. Forgot it weighs 317 pounds. The way he fights, straight pedal to the metal, pressure style fighter, never quits, never gives up. I can't doubt him now because no matter what he's weighed in the past, Jarrell Big Baby Miller comes to fight, and he comes to fight hard. So in this case, Kingsley Abe, a guy who just knocked out Gerald Washington, TKO stoppage, I believe, in the third round, is on a high, is on a run right now. But don't get me wrong, Gerald Miller has a hell of a chin. I expect him to potentially stop Mr. Abe late by overwhelming of shots and just kind of break him down with that gas tank. So I got Gerald Big Baby Miller taking this one probably between round 7 or 8. He should take this one out. Now he's got to be careful early on because Mr. Abe does have pop. He has power. This is also the heavyweight division, and he could put a hurting on Mr. Jarrell Miller early. But like we said, Miller's chin is respectable and impeccable. So it's going to take a lot to break that brother down. I'm not sure if Abe has the type of stamina nor consistent strength output to really put Mr. Miller down like that. Kind of what we saw Mr. Daniel Dynamite Dubois do about a year or so ago. So in this case, we're going to rock with Jarrell Miller, late TKO stoppage. Now let's get to the 3 cards, the three main events for tonight. Mr. Shoo Carrington, Mr. Bruce Carrington himself taking on Carlos Castro. Good fight. Good fight. Something that's going to really test Mr. Bruce Carrington. I got Bruce Shoo Carrington winning this fight tonight. Not a very popular decision, what I'm about to say, but I actually got this one going under 10.5. For some reason, I'm feeling that Mr. Carrington can stop Carlos Castro, who is a come forward style fighter. I think it's going to fall right into the hands and right into the game plan that Bruce likes to engage in. Bruce is a tactful boxer, very disciplined, tactician in the ring. This kind of fight just falls right into his hands. He can see through the pressure, see through the punches coming his way. When a guy's coming more forward to you, add a little bit more pop to your punches, as I expect Bruce Carrington to start catching Carlos probably clean later in the rounds, probably about between round 6, 7, and 8. You'll start to see Bruce Carrington kind of pick up and start feeling himself, especially for that hometown crowd. Even though he's not a knockout guy, I do got him stopping Carlos Castro, who to me, style-wise, is going to fall right into the hands of Bruce Carrington and just get really walk himself into some shots that he's not anticipating to see. And I believe he's going to underestimate some of the pop and some of the power coming back his way from Shoo Carrington. But we'll see how that goes. But I do got that favor, Bruce Carrington, TKO stoppage. Now let's get to another one. Keyshawn Davis, the return of Mr. Keyshawn Davis himself, Mr. No-Show, Mr. I Can't Make Weight Davis. In this case, the brother finally made weight. Salute to him, salute to that brother, salute to that warrior. But with that said, he's taking on a hell of a fighter with Jermaine Ortiz. Jermaine Ortiz seems ready to go. He looks in shape. He looks focused for this fight. So I expect to see a lot of things come from Mr. Jermaine Ortiz, who has been in there with some good competition, some solid competition from Mr. Jermaine Ortiz. So I do expect this to be a war. But just how I said the last fight would go, with Bruce Carrington taking on Mr. Carlos Castro. I also see this one ending in a TKO stoppage. I see it in the favor of Keyshawn Davis. I think he's hungry. I think he is going to push the envelope, push the needle a little bit in this fight. I think he's going to fight clean. I believe he has something to prove, and that extra chip and that extra emotion that's on his shoulder, I believe that's what's going to carry him over top. Over the top in this fight. I believe he's going to struggle a little early. I think Jermaine Ortiz will get the better of. Yeah, I think Jermaine Ortiz will get the better of Keyshawn Davis kind of early in this fight. As it continues to go, then Keyshawn will get used to the rhythm, used to what he's seeing from Mr. Jermaine Ortiz, and more importantly, just getting used to that ring again. So, suffer a little bit of ring rust. Didn't get the fight in May 2025, as we already talked about. He blew weight in that fight, had to sit out, and he's been going through a few things outside the ring as well as inside the ring itself. And so, I think ring rust and nerves are going to set upon Keyshawn Davis pretty early in this fight. And once he settles in, then I expect him to handle business and really pick Jermaine apart toward the back half of this fight. Hence, we got this one also under 10.5 round TKO stoppage for the likes of Keyshawn Davis. Now, for the final fight, the main event. Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, or should I say Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson. This can either be a really good fight of the year type contender, or it could potentially be one of the most boring fights we've ever seen, at least from a casual standpoint. I think it's going to be a beautiful display of boxing. For those of us who love hardcore boxing, love to study the sport, and love strategy in the ring, I think that's what we're going to get tonight. And that might not be too appeasing to those who want to come and just see like a war, especially if it's on pay-per-view. Pay-per-view is really meant for like big fights that are like slugfest, and you're going to see some blood, you're going to see some back and forth, but the threat of a knockout, right? And the threat of high pressure, high volume. I don't believe that's what we're going to get tonight. I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. But I think what we are going to see is a true display of high IQ boxing. Hey, how you doing? I can't say your name. Is it Proctor? How you doing? How you doing? Hit that like, comment below, subscribe. But with that high IQ boxing, right, this back and forth, positioning in the ring, trying to cut off certain corners of the ring. There's going to be some movement. There's going to be plenty of jabs and positioning thrown out in this ring. But when you really want to see in a pay-per-view fight, that high pressure, that high IQ, high pressure and power and the threat of a knockout, these two fighters are not high volume fighters. Teofimo has the perceived better power punching, right? But his knockout ratio is less than 60% now, especially as he's moved up in weight. He hasn't been able to really stop a lot of guys, hasn't really get a lot of knockouts lately, especially up at the 140-pound division, especially as he stepped up in competition. But with that said, he still has good pop, and he's got respectable power to kind of make guys, understand where he is in the ring and how they need to move around him. But when he's going up against other boxers, that threat of his power, that threat of that knockout is kind of limited. And then more so when he's also fought at higher levels of boxing or higher level boxers, the opportunities for knockout power or knockout shot placement isn't really there, as you don't expect, right, for a lot of when you're fighting a higher IQ fighter. But more importantly, his output seems to drop. He's more selective with his punches. He's trying to find better openings and taking his time, and sometimes a little bit too much time. Even though he's getting clean, effective shots in there, his output to me isn't that much. And the same thing for Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson actually needs a high volume output fighter to make his fights that more interesting, because he already doesn't have a lot of power. So he's not going to get you a clean knockout, especially overwhelming knockouts, especially with his hands being as brittle as they are. But as he brings it, I'm sorry, as another fighter brings it to him, Shakur is able to use what we talked about earlier with Shushu Carrington and Carlos, using that person's momentum against him to make his shots a little bit more effective, a little harder, and more importantly, he can engage. He just doesn't want to go hunt you down. He's not a hunter. He's more of a sit in the pocket, defensive style fighter, pick through your punches, counter punch, right? That is Shakur Stevenson. And his feet, he loves the moves, got good footwork, good placement. That two style of fighters coming together, it's a recipe for a just pure tactical fight that could be born. I'm hoping for the better. I'm hoping that one of these two men make the decision throughout this fight to just go for it and throw the other one off guard, throw them off their game plan, and kind of put more pressure on the other fighter while also being smart and selective with their punches. I'm hoping that they actually bring a little bit more heat to this fight and keep the audience in there. I think for hardcore fans, they're going to be tuned in and locked in hardcore for this fight. There's going to be, like we talked about earlier, foot placement is going to be key. Positioning in the middle of the ring is going to be really key. Punching through punches, selecting clear shots, and keeping the defense on point is going to be something to be studied, because these two fighters are of the best in their era. It's just that I hope they do enough of it. I guess that's really what I'm trying to get. I'm hoping there's enough volume. I'm hoping there's enough action to keep people going. But with that said, for this fight, two high IQ fighters. Not a lot of power coming back from the likes of Shakur Stevenson. And Teofimo Lopez himself hasn't had a lot of knockouts lately. I think we're going to see a good boxing match, a good war that's going to go all 12 rounds. And when you got this type of fight, when you just really can't, either fighter can take it. They're both like skilled. They both are counter punchers. They both can adjust. They both got smart corners. When you get this tight of a fight with this type of talent, and it's going to be tight, it's going to be a very close decision. But in my opinion, I did go ahead and rock with the draw. I'm going with the draw on this fight because I think there's not going to be a lot of exchanging. There's not going to be a lot of volume. There's not going to be a lot of violence. There's going to be just pure boxing and pure IQ and pure movement in that ring. And both of these men are good at what they do. They're both going to take certain rounds back and forth, back and forth. I can't see the others edging it. If it does go to a split decision victory, which is highly likely, right? Split decision victory for this fight, I would put it in the favor of Shakur Stevenson. To me, he is just that much better of a boxer than the likes of Teofimo Lopez. No disrespect for Teofimo. Hell of a fighter, hell of a warrior. I just think that Shakur Stevenson is just that much better than Teofimo Lopez, and will probably be able to pull this fight out in a split decision, very close decision victory tonight if it goes that way. But you heard me say it earlier, I'm rocking with the draw. I put it on the draw. That's how I see it. That's how I got it. Let us know what you think. Hit that like button, comment below. That's our breakdown. That's our final thoughts and predictions for this fight card tonight. That actually has started. We do have the the prelims going right now. You got my man from Saudi Arabia taking on Castillo. Pretty good scrap right here. Good drop that happened earlier for the likes of, I cannot say my man's name. I think it's Alumef. Don't let me mess my man's name up, but it's from Saudi. Good drop earlier. So the prelims have started. But anyway, that's our thoughts and predictions. That's our final predictions. We are going to do the live fight chat, the live fight breakdown. Here we'll have the pay-per-view up and going here in the probably next 30, 45 minutes. We'll have that up and going right now. You can check it out on YouTube. The prelims are up and going right now. They haven't switched over to the pay-per-view section yet. But once they do, we'll actually be giving the blow-by-blow for that pay-per-view section as well. But with that said, last thing, let's just go ahead and get into this real quick. Recap on our thoughts, predictions, our bets. Take it how you want to, right? Like we said, Austin Emma Williams, as long as he keep the head straight, he should clearly beat Mr. Windy Toussaint. Last-minute replacement. I feel bad for the brother. Adonis got sick. Got it. Good. Jarrell Miller, I got him late TKO stoppage, beating Kingsley at Bay. Bruce Shushu Carrington, Shakur decision. In my case, I am going to go with Bruce Carrington, but in this case, I'm going with Bruce for a TKO stoppage against the likes of Carlos Castro. I think Carlos Castro's style is going to fall right into play for Mr. Shushu Carrington, and that hometown energy and push is going to give Shushu that extra energy and ump that he needs to land the right shots and get Carlos out pretty late in this fight. And then Keyshawn Davis, Jermaine Ortiz, I got it going the same way. I've got a stoppage, and now I think Keyshawn's got something to prove, something to bring, so I'm giving it to Keyshawn in this one. It will be a good fight. I think it's going to actually be the fight of the night is Keyshawn and Jermaine Ortiz. Both men will go back and forth. You're going to see hands be thrown. Jermaine doesn't have a lot of power, but he can fight. And I think he's going to bring a war to him. I think it's gotten personal. So, yeah, I think it's going to be what it is. And then last but not least, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson. You heard us. You heard it here first. We're betting on the draw. We got it a draw tonight. That's what we're rocking with. But obviously, it's going to go all 12. I think we all know that's going to be hell of a war, back and forth, true boxing match. You said 20 push-ups, Cheeto. All right. Hell of a war, back and forth between both men, and I just can't see either man really pulling this one out. Both are high-level fighters, but let's say it goes to the decision. I mean, it's going to go all 12, but let's say somebody has to get the nod tonight. I will go with Shakur Stevenson. I think he's just that much better of a fighter than, that much better of a boxer than Teofimo Lopez. And I think it's going to be a pure boxing match, and I'm going to lean with the better boxer in this fight if it goes to that route. But again, I'm sticking with the draw. Put the money on the draw. That's what we're rocking with, because I just see it too close. Too many rounds. Too many ways either fighter can win this fight. Good corners, good camps. I'm rocking with the draw, man. But anyways, hit that like. Let us know what you think. Comment below. Subscribe if you got the time. And it's your boy Cash Rope, Sound 8 Podcast. We're finally back, back off a break. And as you can tell, we on the road. Again, for those that are just tuning in. But if you've been rocking with us, man, somehow, some way, man, these last few big fights, right? We just been on the road. And it's been crazy. That's just how it lines up. Just how it's been lining up, man. But anyways, other fight news, right? So we got the likes of Deontay the Bronze Mama Wilder, Derek Ward Chisora getting it on April 4th, 2026. And with that said, we plan to be in the building for that fight in the UK. UK's got some of the best fight fans, and no better way to break bread in a 2026 heavyweight clash matchup between two old dogs who, are trying to make their last stand in the sport. I think it's going to be a hell of a fight. Hope the fight card lives up to what these two men are going to bring. They're both warriors. We already know somebody's getting knocked out in that fight. So to me, that's the best way to go. And I'm definitely hitting the O2 Arena for that fight. Happy Saturday. How's it going, Daniel? Daniel, how's it going? How's it going? Who y'all got tonight? Who y'all got for the fight? For the main event, at least. I got Teofimo. I'm sorry. I got a draw for the Teofimo and Shakur Stevenson scrap tonight. But if I had to force me into picking a decision, I think it goes all 12, split decision, very tight nod to Shakur Stevenson. Appreciate everybody for rocking out today. Definitely on a Saturday, cold Saturday too, depending on where you at, as that snowstorm is flying through and tearing things up. I'm hearing it's going down in North Georgia, the Carolinas. New York already got hit earlier this week, so y'all stay frosty, but stay safe. Let us know who you got, man. Hit that like button. It's free. Comment below, subscribe. We're back to it. 2026 is our first show of the year, and we're back in the regular programming. Like we said, we took about a month off, man. We had to rest. 2025 has been busy. And they can say right now 2026 is also busy as we are back on the road. But this is what we love to do, man. It's a hobby for us. Now, we never stop watching boxing. That's for sure. But every once in a while, man, you got to chill out for a second. Get that right. All right. But yeah, like we said, man, fights this year so far, I'm really excited crazily excited for the Wilder and Chisora. To me, that's the biggest fight of the year so far. It's even bigger than the fights tonight. And no disrespect, because these two are the better fighters, right? Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson are, you know, once in a lifetime type talents that you're seeing. Like pure boxers have been fighting since they were kids. You know, they've been fighting in the amateurs and the Olympics and everything since they were 6. But when I'm saying the better fight, it's that last word. It's a fight, right? Real fight. What we like to pay to see for pay-per-view. Hands be thrown, violence be shared, and somebody getting stopped, somebody getting knocked out. And that's what we like to see, man. So I'm really excited for the Deontay fight, man. I'm glad they announced it this week at the Ring Magazine thing, where everything was going on this week. Smart decision. Like we said, we'll be out in the UK for that. Big Mage, she said, got Shakur by unanimous decision. Okay. It can definitely go that way. I'm still leaning. Like I said, if I had to pick somebody, I'll still lean Shakur. I'm gonna say split decision though, very tight split decision. It's gonna be, and it's also gonna depend on what version of Teofimo shows up tonight as well, guys. I'll say it like this: the best chance Teofimo Lopez has tonight is if he doesn't box too much anyways. He's got, obviously got to box a little bit. Don't get careless. But he needs to make this a fight. Not a sloppy fight. Not a pressure style fight like Williams and Petta. You know what I'm saying? He just needs to make it rough. Hit Shakur in his elbows, man. Hit him in his shoulders. Hit him in his hips. Yeah, I agree, Big Mage. Shakur's defense is, he's definitely, to my opinion right now, the best defensive fighter out right now. Best defensive fighter out right now. But yeah, T.O., man, if he wants to stand a chance in this fight, in this fight, he needs to make it a fight. That's his only chance. If he keeps this a boxing match tonight, brother's losing. And I might have to go with what you said, Big Mage. You'll probably lose by unanimous decision. A still tight decision, because he is good. He can box, man. No disrespect to T.O. The brother can fight. He can box, but Shakur is just that much better, man. And in this sport, that's all you need. And especially with the length that Shakur has, the defense he has, crisp counterpunching, man. It's gonna be a long night. If Shakur Stevenson had power, he'll be a problem, a real problem. Like, he's already a problem to beat, right? He's a good fighter, we all know that. But when I say a problem, I mean he could be stopping guys like the young Floyd Money Mayweather was doing, or should I say Pretty Boy Floyd was doing when he was in the same weight class, 130s, 140s, putting hands and feet on people. Because his hands hadn't started to break down yet, so he was just letting them go. Shakur, with his IQ, his reflexes, he would be a pay-per-view phenom because of his defense and his ability to break guys down and knock them out. Man, that's something beautiful to watch. Only if his hands were stronger and that brother has some more power. But either way with that, though, it's going to be a good fight tonight. I think he's going to do what he's got to do. Oh, yeah, if he had power, yeah, it wouldn't last, 6 rounds. I'd give it 4. Because with power, it opens up a whole nother game plan, a whole nother option for him. Like, now he can do the hunting. You know what I'm saying? He can go after guys because he's already quicker in terms of reflexes and twitch muscles and movement. Guys won't even see some of the shots coming his way. He can get a lot of people out there under 4 or 5 rounds, man. If he had, like I said, if he had power. But we live in a world today of reality, and the brother doesn't have it. And his hands, man, he already had that surgeries on him, which they're better now after the surgery. Excuse me, after the surgery. But we're obviously going to see a 12-round fight tonight. If either one of them get knocked out, That would be crazy. You said, well, Tank every fight? Psh, Tank about to be fighting for his life in court. Tank is going to be fighting for his life in court, y'all. It Tank, man, and I like Tank, bro. Like as a fighter, right? I like Tank, but he's let me down multiple times now. I'm disappointed. Um, and if all these allegations are true, with if he put his hands on the young lady and all that, if it's all true and real, I can't rock with the brother no more. I mean, he's already had. It's a shame. Will he ever fight again? Yeah, he'll probably do another fight or two. He's probably got two more fights left in his career, depending on how much trouble he gets in this one. He's going to have to throw a lot of money to stay out of the court. To stay out of jail. He's probably going to get some. If it's true, everything that's happened, he might do some real time. He might do some good time. Not a couple, like a few months, maybe a year, or at least get probation. But yeah, he's going to fight for his life up in that court, stay out of prison. And after that, then he might get some fights. People love drama. And then he'll probably get a little something. PBC needs something anyway. So, with that said, he's let me down, man, because he didn't fight Teo. He didn't fight Devin. He ain't fought Shakur. He ain't fought nobody. And, and I love to believe in the past that it was, because they were afraid of Tank, or Tank was the business money. The business wasn't always right, but you can see how these guys been moving lately. Turkey's cleared a lot of roadblocks. It's clearly Tank is the issue. I ain't gonna even say Tank's the issue. His business is the issue. So, and now he's in his own way. So, man, I just hope I hope Tank doesn't go down like Adrian Broner. That's all I don't want to see him go down that bad. You say who would be the aggressor, Shakur or Teo? I think Shakur is going to be the aggressor earlier. I think he's going to try to throw off Teo and come out aggressive first. I think Shakur's going to try it out first, and then you're going to see Teo, I think, become the more aggressive throughout the middle of the fight. Teo usually starts a little slow. I think he's trying to play certain games anyways in that ring, set the pace right. So I think Shakur knows that. Smart fight, like we talked about earlier. I see Shakur coming out aggressive first in this fight, probably rounds 1 through 4, and then you'll see Shakur go back to his normal bag of defense and counterpunching. You think so? I had listened to an interview that he had. I think he's going to fight dirty, but not early though. I think he's going to see how Shakur moves in this fight and try to catch a rhythm, and then try to attack certain areas. And like we talked about earlier, like he needs to make it a fight. He's got to hit the shoulders, got to hit them pinpoints. I won't be surprised if we see Teofimo punch at the hands of Shakur. Like while Shakur's trying to parry, I won't be surprised if we see Teo trying to throw a lot of hard shots at the gloves of Shakur. You said walk him down? Yeah. I think the back half, the championship rounds will probably be Shakur for sure. Rounds 8, 9, 7, 8 be a toss-up, but 9. Yeah, about 10, 11, and 12 will definitely be a Shakur Stevenson. As long as he keeps his head straight, right? Doesn't get ahead of himself, right? Trying to rush something that's not there. Yeah, I see it being all Shakur Stevenson. Walking them down, when I think about somebody walking somebody down, though, I'm thinking about hard power shots that's knocking them off place and force him into a corner. I think he'll be picking Tio apart though. He'll gas him out and start picking him right. The shots will just be there, be clean. You'll see the talent try to separate from itself, and I think it'll be those back rounds that gives Shakur the nod. Again, if it goes to if we actually get a winner. Again, like you heard me say earlier, I see a draw still for this fight. Just a weird feeling, but definitely if there is a winner tonight, I got a close split decision victory for Shakur, and I do believe those back half those will be the rounds that take it for him. Keyshawn Davis, though. I got him stopping Jermaine. But to me, that might be the fight of the night. I think it's going to be fight of the night if Keyshawn, what version of Keyshawn we're going to see tonight? Because you can tell he's a little off, right? I mean, no disrespect to the brother, but he's off. Seems like he always gets in his way as well mentally, but it looks like and sounds like, I watched a couple of his interviews as well coming in, watched his little training, what he's been going through. Keyshawn looks ready. He looks focused. I actually came out to the Norfolk fight that he was going to have when he missed weight. And the crowd, his hometown crowd, was, when he walked in, man, they were so against him because he let them all down. He blew weight, man, didn't even try. And he just didn't like he cared. Then he got into a fight in the back, man. He left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, especially his hometown supporters. And I think when he finally realized that, it also affected him even more mentally. And he's kind of spiraled, man, and it's been back and forth. But this is he landed on a good card, on a good spot. Shout out to Shakur Stevenson, his homeboy, his brother, for putting him on and trying to pull his friends back up. And that's what you should do in life, right? When you see your friends struggling like that, even if it was their own fault, you at least give them a chance, help them pull themselves up, man, and get them back into position. But with that said, hopefully we get a mentally focused Keyshawn tonight. I think he has a chip on his shoulder. I think, yeah, man, they jumped old boy in the back, man. It was crazy. And for nothing. After, all because his brother lost. And I was there. I watched that one live in the arena. His brother got beat down, bro. It wasn't even close. And for all that going on. But anyways, I do believe in second chances in this case, and I'm just rooting for Keyshawn to have his head tight, wrap tight, comes to prove something. I think he does have a chip on his shoulder tonight. I think he does want to prove something tonight, and I just hope that he does. And in that case, riding off the emotion I seen from him, I'm gonna go with him and get the stoppage against Jermaine. It won't be easy. Jermaine is no pushover. He's fought some of the best competition you would want in the 140-pound division. So he's only lost to some of the best. So it's gonna be tight. But with that said, this type of opportunity and the emotion that's flying between both of these guys can really lend itself to a fight of the year contender. Jermaine can win this fight. If Jermaine wins, it will obviously be a decision for him. He doesn't have a lot of power. He's like 50-50. And he fights. He's very well put together fighter, meaning Jermaine Ortiz. Very calm, cool, collected. But maybe his emotion gets to him. He want to push it. You said one of the brothers fight a new way? New way is too small though. That'd be a challenge for a new way. For any of these guys at this point. I mean, the closest person was Shakur, 135. If he goes back down to 135, which he probably will. It'll be a good fight though. I mean, I remember was fighting with the idea of it being Tank in a new way. Obviously, we see what Tank's doing to himself. So it's just a damn shame what Tank's done to himself, man. But Shakur in the new way would be a good fight. Nah, Keyshawn's 140 now. This is his first fight at 140. The 135 is when that's the fight that Keyshawn blew. He couldn't make the weight no more, and he knew it, and still sat up there and wasted those people time and money. So now that's why he's at 140 for this fight. We got Mo Williams and Toussaint about to come up here in a minute. Toussaint in the back. Salute to this brother, though. I know he took the check. Toussaint, man. Brother was driving the bus yesterday, or day before yesterday, and got the call to get up in here and get this fight, get this work with Mo Williams. And he's probably about to get hurt because Mo is nothing to play with. Yeah, I'm watching it right now. The prelims are on right now. They got they're in the back warming up. Mo and Toussaint in the back. The Riyadh guy just fought a second ago, so. But you can go on. They got the prelims right now. If y'all didn't know, it's free right now on. They're showing it on YouTube. Shout out to The Zone and Read Magazine. Then I'll flip over to the pay-per-view a little later, or once they get to that point, I'll flip over to the pay-per-view and I'll do the live fight chat for everybody. Boy. No, it's 69. Well, let me say it like this. The pay-per-view is $69 if you already have the membership. So if you didn't, they're going to charge you the membership fee and then the pay-per-view fee, and it's about $90 all said and done. But if you already have the zone, yeah, it's like 69 or 60, something like that. Still crazy because I could have sworn, I might get on a tangent. I could have sworn we said we're getting rid of pay-per-views. Like Turk Alashik on them said, hey, October or something like that was the last pay-per-view. That Joseph Parker fight was the last pay-per-view we was going to get out of them. And then here we are, The Zone, Ring Magazine, Ring 6 fight tonight, pay-per-view. Yeah, I think it's going to be, this is a good, solid card. I can't play it. Because you got, I mean, even the top four, you got Jarrell Miller fighting, heavyweight fight against Abed. Then you've got Bruce Carrington, Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson back-to-back, and obviously the Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez. Decent card as a whole, and I agree with you. As far as the main event, it ain't the main event selling this pay-per-view for sure. No disrespect to either one of these fighters because we know we're going to just see a boxing match for that main event. And like you said, neither one are just blockbuster, like, ooh, we're going to get all this excitement out of either one of them. But I think the whole fight card as a whole is probably going to be a good product. But we'll see. I will give Ring this much credit. Their last few cards, they've been pretty good from top to bottom. They've been putting together some decent scraps. And I think I can see what Ring and Turk Magazine are doing, or Turk Magazine, Ring Magazine and Turk Alashik are doing. They're not putting all that money into the main event anymore. They're paying, I think they're going to start bringing down those wages a little bit, for at least for most of their cards. I mean, some of the big names are going to get that crazy money. But what they're doing is investing a little bit more into the undercard and making sure the fight card is stacked. Because that's really what the fans want. We want to see not just one main event and hope that it's good. We want to see upsets, knockouts, and action from start to finish. I mean, when you ask somebody to come in here and pay $100, sit down for 2 to 3 hours, well, I want to be entertained for those 2 or 3 hours. And I think they're starting to realize that, and I think that's why the cards are, you starting to see them shift to where the money is going more into the whole card versus the actual main event or top guys. Put this back over here. How that's doing. But anyways, yeah, if you don't get it, let me know. I'll still be on here live. We'll flip over to the live fight chat stream I have set up here. And actually, I'm gonna probably have to move it because I thought it started at 30. Probably like another hour because they haven't even brought in ammo in Tucson. But yeah, we'll be calling it. And then that Chisora Wilder fight, like you said, man, that's a scrap. And we'll be live in the building for that one. I'll be live in the, well, let me say it like this. Our plan is to be live in the building, O2 Arena, April 4th, 2026. That's the plan, if possible. Because I know them tickets are going to sell. They're probably going to sell that thing out quick. That's a fight, right? That's a scrap. That's what people want to see, man. That's a real fight. Get this light up. I don't know how this thing goes. Oh, man. But yeah, those tickets, man. Chisora Wilder. Fight. You know you'll get two men who put their hearts on the line, man. Two men who's going to lay it all out. Two men who are not afraid to get knocked out. That's what this sport is missing. Sport is missing men who are not afraid to lose and afraid to get knocked out. See, a lot of these guys, it's not saying you're going to fight rock'em sock'em or fight stupid, but you need to go in there and let your hands be thrown. Too many of them are afraid to lose. And it's starting to shift. You're starting to see guys take these chances now, sign up for the big fights, and when they get to the big fights, some of these guys are actually starting to let their hands be thrown. Like guys like Ja Pataya, man, like guys like him, monster in the cruiserweight division. Usyk, monster. David Benavidez there, Benedetto Roja, monster. Even though he just lost, Canelo goes to fight, man. You know you don't get a fight with Canelo. Win, lose, or draw in his case. I wish Dimitri Bivol had more power. He'll be a well-known name, or a good fighter. He definitely comes to fight, definitely comes to scrap. Archie Beterbiev obviously comes to the knockout. He just needs to tighten up a little bit better on his defense. But you got guys like that who's coming to fight whoever. And then you got the rest of the division that needs to like catch up, right? They need to, and I say division, rest of just the whole sport that needs to catch up and sign up for the big fights. And when you get in there, let your hands be thrown. Come fight. And that's why this Chisora Wilder fight is big. So people probably wonder, like, both of these guys long in the tooth, pushing 40, or already 40, and being beaten a few times. Chisora's got more losses than some guys got records on them. Wins in their career. Why do people keep paying to see Chisora? Because he comes to bring you a good product, a good fight. Either he's knocking that guy out or he's getting knocked out, and sometimes he gets a little sloppy, but overall it's a good display of boxing on the way. Now Wilder, not the best boxer, but entertaining. This is an entertainment business. So you put a guy like Wilder in there who's also coming to knock you out or get knocked out himself, you're gonna get a good scrap, good war. Yeah, Big Mage, I'm a Wilder fan. I'm gonna go ahead and put that disclaimer out there. I'm a Deontay Wilder fan, been to a lot of his fights as well. But the Wilder that I saw last June that fought Tyrell Herndon, yeah, he gets knocked out by Chisora. I don't know about easily, but Chisora will probably win this fight. Now, Chisora is the perfect style for a guy like Wilder who, Chisora doesn't move his head a lot. He's there to get hit. He's there for a good fight and a good scrap. That's kind of what Wilder needs. He needs somebody that isn't going to move a lot and kind of just bang it out. But Chisora has power, man. His overhand rights that he just throws out sometimes are lethal. And Chisora is clearly the better boxer. But Chisora is the type of guy a guy like Wilder needs for that right hand to go straight down the pipe. So whoever lands first, but in this case, I'm not even sure Wilder has the pop that he used to. Malik Scott kind of ruined him. He improved and ruined him at the same time. Man, I don't know. Yeah, the guy, but if it's the version of Deontay I saw fight Tyrell Herndon, Chisora beats him probably knock him out in round 4 or 5. Probably round 4 or 5 because Wilder's legs are gone. Brother could barely move. But however long it lasts, I can tell you this. We're going to be entertained. We're going to be entertained. It's going to be exciting. We're going to be on the edge of our seats because I think both men probably hit the canvas. And, it could go with Deontay. That, like you said, that one trick, it could go at any time. And so we'll be on the edge of seats watching that fight. But anyways, long story short, the environment, right? If they do the undercard right, man, that's going to be a good card. A good fight. April, UK, springtime, big scrap, heavyweights. You can't ask for nothing better. So, like I said, we're going to try to be there. And, if we're there, we'll go live and direct from the building at the fight, try to get you some behind the scenes while we're there as well. That's the goal anyway. So, that's, 2026 boxing, to me, starting off pretty decent. We got a welcoming fight tonight. Shakur Stevenson. Teofimo. Keyshawn's back. Jermaine Ortiz going to try to prove himself tonight. Bruce Carrington, Jarrell Miller, New York guys in the building. Good way to start. Then we got, I don't know how y'all feel about this fight, but Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios, official as well. I think that's the next ring promoted fight, by the way. Fighting on the zone February 20-something, end of February. I don't know how Ryan got himself into a championship fight after losing, but shows he's got good popularity. Mario Barrios stays getting these big fights, man. They love that dude. He's held on to that belt, that WBC belt in the welterweight division for a little minute. But with that said, if Ryan comes, it's Ryan's fight to lose. Ryan should beat Mario Barrios. Barrios has been to a lot of wars. You can see it's been taken off on his athletic ability. It's been taken off on his stamina, everything. It's kind of just taken off on him. And he's just not the fighter he used to be. But maybe he gets something going for this fight. But based on what I've been seeing from the trajectory of Mario Barrios, this is Ryan's fight to lose. He should win this fight. But I can tell you this, Barrios hits just as hard as Rolly, if not harder. And if he gets clipped and does the same thing he did in May, meaning Ryan shell up, he's going to get beat. He said Pitbull versus Inoue. They are similar in stature, but I think Pitbull is also too big at this point. He's been fighting at 140. He's talking about going down to 135. If they can make it happen, it's doable because, Pitbull's only 5'3", 5'4". His problem is he balloons up in weight throughout his camp. So it's possible. It's possible. it'll definitely be a hard ask for Pitbull to come down. I guess you just have to pay him enough to come down and wait. Um, Very beatable guy. I think if he does drop down the weight to 135, 130, either way, New A. If it's at 135, Pitbull stands a damn good chance to beat a New A only because of 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 power at that weight. Like their weight class for difference, and New A coming up. He's shown he's susceptible to certain overhand rights. He's been dropped a few times. I still pick him to beat Pitbull clearly at 135 or 130, doesn't matter. But it'll be a tough fight for him at 135, surely because of the strength and size difference. Not the height, it's more the thickness. Man, they still haven't started this ammo fight yet. Come on now. Yo, y'all want to hear something interesting? All right, so y'all remember Malik Scott, right? Malik Scott, this is personal. I don't know if it's personal because it's public, but his wife, I forget her name, but she's obviously a broadcaster on DAZN. So he had an old girlfriend that was kind of heavier set. They broke up, whatever. I don't know what happened with that. Starts dating a girl on DAZN while coaching Deontay. Obviously gets let go from Deontay. Somehow marries old girl, gets her hooked up. I'm gonna look up her name because she's very famous or popular. And gets with her. Now he's on here broadcasting. Like, that's the ultimate, like, slick. Like, that's the ultimate pit move. Like, it makes you think, like, why is he even with her sometimes? Like, and not that she's ugly or anything, but it's just interesting. I'm just sitting here watching how he's over here commenting on DAZN and doing this thing. So, interesting. Ran the play, as we call it. You said Garcia versus somebody's getting knocked out. Yeah. I think Garcia knocks out Barrios. I think Garcia can knock out Barrios. The speed is there. Barrios more come forward fighter. Been stopped before by smaller guys. Again, it's Ryan's fight to lose. Hands down. Ryan's fight to lose, man. I'm interested what that card would look like as far as undercard. I think they've actually already released it. Let's see. Which one? You said, did I hear about Wilder's girl? Which one? Because I know he got a new girl. A little slim, light-skinned girl. He likes him a certain way. I can say that. Let's see. Ryan Garcia card. But no, what happened? Something happened to her? Now, I've seen his old girl, Tilly's. Yeah, what happened to, because I think her account's been hacked or something, and something's been going crazy on her account. But it might be real because it's been on there too long. Okay, it is Antoine Russell. That's a good little card. Yeah, I think the account's been hacked, but I don't know what's going on with it. Did they figure out what's going on with her? I think her name was Telly or something like that. Swift. I can't believe she dipped on him like that, left him right after the Zhang fight. She dipped on that brother like that, man. You said Adrian Broner. Nah, man, I think Adrian Broner's done, man. I think he can come back, not in the terms of fighting, right? Um, and maybe he can get a good exhibition. I'll say that. Maybe Adrian Broner can get back in enough shape and enough mental awareness for himself to get a good exhibition bout. But professional career-wise, it'd probably be dangerous for him to get in the ring with anybody of stature at this point. I mean, he got beat, got his tooth knocked out by what's my man with the curly hair? I forget his damn name. The weird dude. Well, he's kind of weird. Blair, yeah, Blair the Flair Cobbs got knocked out bad. And it wasn't because he didn't try. Like, Adrian came in there, got in shape, and just got beat all 10 rounds. But it was clear that his athleticism, like the wear and tear on his body over the years, he can't fight at this level no more. You couldn't beat Blair Cobbs, and that's no disrespect to Blair Cobbs. And that fight was dang near 2 years ago almost now. Because Blair can fight, and he's got good pop, but he's not a world beater. So for Adrian, it'll be dangerous for him to come back at a professional level. Maybe as an undercard, maybe get a little paycheck, but I don't know if his ego is gonna let him do that and be like the undercard to somebody. Like, and I mean undercard, I'm talking almost prelims to like a card like this. I'm not sure if his ego let him do it, but maybe he's learned a lot now. I would say a good exhibition fight against somebody he could probably make some money, take care of himself. But yeah, Adrian's cooked. He can come back and be a promoter, though. I think he can get back mentally strong enough, be a promoter, get back in the game, find some new talent around his way, pull some guys up out of Ohio, do that kind of thing. Yeah, Madonna was the beginning of the end. Definitely. He was the beginning of the end for Adrian Broner. And then I'm gonna tell you who cleaned up Adrian. Because after Madonna beat him, people forgot that he fought Porter. Porter beat him. But really, it was Mikey Garcia that kind of finished it up. Like, because he was supposed to beat Mikey Garcia. And that was supposed to be his big comeback, especially after just beating Adrian Granados and whoever. Mikey, that third loss, because he had lost to Sean Porter already. That's a respectable loss. And nothing against Mikey Garcia, but it was like, that's your third guy that kind of like, I think took him down through there. And obviously he came back and fought Pacquiao after that loss to that. But I mean, that's Pacquiao. I mean, you take that kind of loss and you make some money. But I really think the Mikey Garcia lost, that third loss there to him in his career, kind of really set it in stone. They threw him the Pacquiao fight as kind of like a bone. PBC trying to look out for him, and I think we all knew he was going to lose that fight, even though he thought he won. Everybody knew he was going to lose that fight. I mean, it's Pacquiao. So they threw him the bread and then sent him on his way. 2-year, dang near 3-year layoff after that. And the alcohol and the drugs, man. Mayweather versus Crawford. Oh boy. Which version, I guess? In theory. It'll be tight. It'll probably go split decision, favor Floyd. in their primes. Yeah, I'll give it to man. I'll give it to Floyd. Floyd. It'll be tight. It'll be tight. The style matchup kind of favors Floyd in this case. That kind of style that Crawford has, I think that would flavor Floyd. Yeah, I got Floyd. You say you think he'll dominate Crawford? I think in the back half of the fight, he'll probably dominate, like he usually does most of the people anyway. Floyd's reflexes were crazy. Defense, I mean, just like we're talking about Shakur earlier, defense, impenetrable, man, impeccable. But his smarts in the ring. Floyd, so smart in that ring, able to adjust, see so many things. And people talk about him outside the ring like he can't read or whatever. Whatever it is, that brother can definitely see and read that ring and is able to adjust. Yeah, that Philly shell, man, it's ridiculous trying to get in and out of that. I'll say this, Crawford would have gave Floyd probably one of the better fights we've seen in his career. Because the fact that Crawford probably would have adjusted to a more pressure style fight and trying to get in there and get Floyd. But he did a little bit better and cleaner than some other fighters, but Crawford leaves himself open when he's so aggressive, man. He gets hit. But Floyd don't have that kind of pop or power to really make Crawford respect him. But yeah, Floyd wouldn't have left himself open that much to get hit like that. So yeah, I got Floyd easy. Well, I say easy, but it's a split decision. Actually, I take that back. Close, unanimous decision. You said Charlie Brown. He said it'd be Crawford. Crawford would give him a good fight. Okay, let's go. That's an interesting one. I guess. Hold on, who's this calling? Oh, I have to call him back in a second. All right. But anyways, let's get back to this fight real quick. All right. So we rocked out now. It's about an hour. We're gonna take a quick break in a minute. We're gonna flip back. We'll be back for the pay-per-view once it actually starts. The prelims are going on right now. We've got Austin Emma Williams and his last-minute replacement of Tucson in the ring right now, live on Ring Magazine. After this fight, the main card, I believe, should be starting with the likes of Jarrell Big Baby Miller taking on Bay. That should be a good heavyweight scrap, guys. Like we said, we'll be doing the live fight chat, live fight breakdown, live fight commentary for the pay-per-view to give you guys blow by blow, especially if you don't want to get the pay-per-view. Again, I thought we're getting rid of pay-per-views for this year. For whatever reason, Ring didn't get the memo, and they pushed the pay-per-view straight out the gate, $69.99, I believe, if you already have the zone. But if you don't, rock out with us in a little bit, man. We'll be rocking in with you. But like we said, for this fight card, and again, Austin Emma Williams and Tucson have just started the fight, 2 minutes, 30 seconds in. I expect Emma Williams to stay disciplined and smart in this fight and really break down Tucson, probably get him out in about 2 to 3 rounds. But with that said, you heard that. We got Austin Emma Williams should take this fight. For the rest of the fight card, I got Gerald Miller stopping Bay late in his fight, late TKO stoppage. Then you got Shushu Carrington should be taking on what's my man's name? I always forget it. Yeah. Taking on Carlos Castro. I got Bruce Shushu Carrington, late TKO stoppage as well. I got Keyshawn Davis beating Jermaine Ortiz. And then I've got a draw for the main event, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson. However, if I had to pick someone, I got Shakur Stevenson. Very close decision victory tonight against the likes of Teofimo Lopez, especially if it stays a boxing match. I got, I got Shakur just being that much better of a boxer than Teofimo Lopez. Skills pay the bills. I think he's a cleaner, effective puncher. I think he has the better reflexes and obviously what we all know, the better defense and definitely the better footwork. But with that said, I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be tight. And hopefully it should be a good pay-per-view main event. You said Zab Judah versus Pac-Man. I've got Prime Pac. Prime Pac would have beat Zab. And then you said who fights the winner, Shakur and Teo at 140. That should be, it'll probably be my man I can see it either being Regis Progress, maybe a Pit Bull. Again, for some weird reason, they keep throwing Eastside Pitbull Cruz in the situations. But I really see it being, Regis Progress. Especially if the winner stays at 140, because to be honest with you, Shakur's talking about going up to 147 if he beats Teofimo tonight to take on the likes of Conor Benn. Boots, I don't think will fight either one of those guys. They're both too small for him. I don't think he'll take it as a challenge. He would beat, I think he would definitely beat Teo. He should beat Shakur strictly off of size. But then again, I think Shakur would stand a better chance against a guy like Boots, even with that size advantage, because again, he has the defense and footwork. I don't think he would engage with Boots a lot, though. That's a big boy. That's a big boy that weighs in around at, walks around at like 185 or so. So, but either way, tonight's winner, it's a bright future. I mean, it's a bright future for either guy, especially if they bring us a hell of a fight, right? Boots versus which Benavidez? Oh, yeah, I know you ain't talking about David Benavidez. Which Benavidez? You talking about the younger brother or you talking about David? If it's David, Boots gets his ass beat. Boots gets his ass beat. Boots gets his ass beat by David Benavidez. It'll be a good little scrap. But, and I'm only saying that because David's output is crazy. Chin, crazy. He's too big. This boy's about to be a heavyweight soon. Too big. David's too big. Way too big for him. Way too big for a guy like Boots right now. Now, if you gave Boots some time and he jumped, made it to maybe super middleweight, get adjusted, or light heavyweight, get adjusted with some good fights, maybe. But trying to jump like that, David's nothing to play with, man. David is nothing to play with. But yeah, I would be there for it, though. That would be a pay-per-view fight for sure. I'll be there to watch it, brother. I would be there to watch it for sure. Anyways, man, let's go ahead and take this break. We'll be back when the main events get ready to get going here for the main pay-per-view, or at least maybe when Miller gets in there. Again, we got Austin Emma Williams is in the ring trying to press Toussaint. Round number 2 is about to end here, about 40 seconds into it. Man, we appreciate y'all rocking out with us. Shout out to Big Mage, man, for all the questions tonight. Definitely appreciate the love, appreciate the support. We'll be back on later, man. Tune into us. It's your boy Casual Up Sound 8 Podcast, man. Hit that like button. It's free. Comment below. Share the channel and subscribe if you got the time, man. We appreciate that. Love until the next time. Peace.